Hey guys, so we are starting today's question of the day with some geometry. The question we have is, what is the length of the missing side of this triangle? Okay, and they give you a hint to use the formula sheet. Here's the thing, whenever you see a right triangle with a missing side, I want a light bulb to go off in your head. If you have a right triangle with a missing side, it means you are using the Pythagorean theorem. And the Pythagorean theorem, it is on your formula sheet, but I found most people have it memorized just because it's kind of simple. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. What is important for you to, let's scoot this over just a little bit. What's important for you to remember is that the a and b in this formula are the legs. They're the ones that, the sides that make up that right angle right there. Remember, the right angle is the square angle. The C is the hypotenuse, and it is the side that's directly across from the right angle. So that's what's important to remember when you're working one of these, because you need to make sure the two sides you have, you're plugging them into the right place in the formula. So our first question, the one that it just gave us, was to find the missing length of the side right here. And anytime we have this, we need to ask ourselves the question, are we looking for a leg, A or B, or are we looking for the hypotenuse, C? Remember, the legs form the right angle. They meet to form that right angle. So we have our A and our B. So all we're going to do is plug that 11 and 9 in for the A and B in this formula. So 9 squared plus 11 squared equals C squared. 9 squared is 81. Remember, squared just means 9 times 9. And usually you'll be able to use your calculators on this. So 11 squared, 11 times 11 is 121. When you add those two together, you get 202. And so 202 equals C squared. Well, the opposite of squaring a number is taking the square root of that number. So we're going to come over here, because I can't do that in my head. And we're going to do second square root of 202, enter. And remember, if you get that, you do these little arrows above and it gives you the actual decimal value. So let's come back over here and see what our value, oh, well, we didn't even have to do that because the question was actually, the answer was actually the square root of 202. So there we go. Let's do one more like that. Okay, so here's another one where we have a missing side, right triangle, missing side, Pythagorean theorem. But on this one, what are we missing? Are we missing a leg or are we missing the hypotenuse? Remember, the legs are what form this right angle. We are missing one of the legs, right? So we're going to substitute that 6 in for A or B. It doesn't matter which one. And 10 is going to be our C value. So A squared plus 6 squared equals 10 squared. 6 squared is 36. 10 squared is 100. To get rid of that plus 36, we're going to minus 36 to both sides. Leaves us just A squared over here. And 100 minus 36 is 64. If you take the square root of both of those, your answer is 8, because 8 times 8 equals 64. So let's come back over here. See if we got that right. 8. And we did. Okay, so I'm going to leave y'all with a challenge problem to think about some before we come back this afternoon when I do another video. I'll be working on this problem. A delivery truck drove 5 miles from store A to store B. Then the truck drove 13 miles from store B to the warehouse. If store A is directly south of store B and directly east of the warehouse, how far is it? How far is store A from the warehouse? Okay, and this, you can kind of imagine this is probably going to be Pythagorean theorem because that's what we're working on today. So think about that, and I'll be back later this afternoon to help y'all figure out how to do that one. Have a good day.